Beneath steep glacial walls, alpine highlands fall to misty forests. Mountain streams cut through gorges on their way down to the warmer valleys and wide marshes in the heart of the kingdom. Like hanging gardens, one distinct landscape drops to the next before finally descending to the jungles and grasslands of the southern plains. Arctic cold and tropical heat are held within a span of less than 100 miles. What makes Bhutan unique is its richness and diversity, combined with the teachings of a centuries-old religious philosophy. Buddhism reached Bhutan in the 9th century, and its legacy is in the kingdom's enduring respect for the natural world and for life. Life in all its many incarnations. The Bhutanese sense of their place in their world can be best illustrated in the Buddhist allegory of the four harmonious friends. It's a fable familiar to every Bhutanese man, woman, and child. According to tradition, a bird flew from a far-off land carrying a seed in its beak. Exhausted, the bird dropped the seed, and where it fell, a hare dug a hole, and a monkey planted the seed. An elephant stood over the young shoot, watering it and providing shade from the midday sun. The shoot grew into a great tree, a tree of life, heavy with fruit. It's an ideal of harmony that resonates across a land in which myths and legends are inseparable from the landscape itself. Man's search for paradise on earth, for a living Eden, has long been the stuff of legend. The reports of 17th century missionaries returning from the East were the inspiration for Shangri-La, an Eden of peace, enlightenment, and carefree existence, hidden deep within the Himalayas. The Buddhists call this place Shambhala. They believe that such a land exists, but that its doors will open only to the most faithful devotee. During the summer months, goat antelopes called baral graze on the steep slopes in the north of the kingdom. Marmots are another resident of these idyllic uplands. Like the original Eden, this is not an empty wilderness. It is a place where man lives in harmony with his natural neighbors. The yaks of nomadic herdsmen fatten on the summer pastures. Because nearly all of Bhutan's population remain either farmers or herdsmen, There has been no split in the relationship between man and the changing seasons. Herds of up to 200 barrels spread across the alpine slopes, with no fear of persecution from man. In Bhutan, hunting is strictly forbidden by both law and religion. The Baral have few natural predators to fear, but one does pose a threat. Because of scarceness of food and the harshness of these high-altitude slopes, it is rarely seen. Even so, it can kill up to a quarter of the Baral population in any given year. The elusive snow leopard passes from myth into reality as easily as it crosses the shifting snow line which it inhabits. Its distinctive markings and spectacular long tail are unmistakable. But its eerie, almost human mating call has been mistaken for the cry of another legendary inhabitant of these mountains, the Migare, the abominable snowman. Sacred shrines dot this rugged landscape, constant reminders of another existence beyond the present world. Even in these remote corners of Bhutan, the Buddhist faith is ever present in isolated monasteries, places of pilgrimage, worship, and monuments to the sanctity of all life. In Bhutan, the raven is considered to be the incarnation of the deity Yeshigonpo, and to kill a raven is considered a crime no less serious than the murder of 100 monks. Linked to the royal family through the raven crown worn by the first Bhutanese kings, it is not surprising that the monastery walls are common nesting sites for this most sacred and revered of birds. The Buddhist reverence for life extends beyond individual creatures to the natural elements, fire, water, and air. Each is harnessed and celebrated in daily rituals of religion. Prayers printed on great flags known as wind horses are carried on the air and spread by breezes across the kingdom. Water wheels turn drums containing sacred verses. Each revolution releases their power into the world. And juniper is burnt, an offering to the deities of mountain and valley, river and lake. As summer passes and the season comes to an end, barley, the product of the fourth element, the earth itself, is offered up in thanks. But of all the elements, it is water which has the most dramatic influence on the kingdom. August, and Bhutan is about to experience one of the greatest phenomena of the natural world. The unstoppable force of the monsoon meets the immovable mass of the Himalayas. Over 300 inches of rain will fall on Bhutan over the next 3 months, making this one of the wettest countries in the world. By September, the monsoon gives way to showers and late summer sunshine. Clouds lift off the 22,000-foot summit of Mount Jomolari, sacred to goddess Jomo, patroness of the natural world. Bhutan is home to over 6,000 species of flowering plants. The colorful display is strangely familiar from the cultivated gardens of the West. Plant hunters have come here since the 18th century to carry away new varieties. But here, the originals are on display in their natural setting. It is this flower, the Himalayan blue poppy, the national flower of Bhutan, which has come to symbolize the rarefied beauty of this Himalayan kingdom. At higher altitudes, the varieties become less familiar. This strange spike, in fact, belongs to the rhubarb family. On the steep rock slopes, plants with medicinal powers are carefully collected. Their secrets are closely guarded by Bhutan's traditional healers. The post-monsoon time is one of plenty for the Baral, but with the already shortening days, a sense of purpose has descended on the herds. Winter is not far away, and if the Baral are to survive, they must build up reserves of energy for the coming snows. Unlike the other inhabitants of these slopes, the Baral do not migrate. They have evolved to endure the cold and hardship of the Himalayan winter. Few animals on Earth are as hardy. The herd has begun to fragment into male and female groups. Youngsters play out the passions and rivalries of the coming rut, in which mature males will defend prime territory against all comers. Rutting is a high-risk strategy in which winner takes all, and losers injured by contest may not survive the winter. The Lamagar vulture exploits the spoils of the Baral's seasonal battles. By dropping bones onto rocks below, the Lamagar gains access to the nutritious marrow within. According to Buddhist custom, such rocky outcrops are also used as places to dispose of the dead. The practice of sky burial involves dismembering the human corpse. By leaving their now worthless earthly remains to the birds, the deceased, it is believed, can gain extra merit in the next world by this last act of consideration to another living creature. With summer over, it is time for the nomads to leave their increasingly cold corner of Shangri-La and descend into the warmer, sheltered valleys below. The nomads will return next year with the spring to the same stone circle that they leave behind. But for now, the valleys are left to the Baral. For last year's young, this will be the harshest test of their fitness. Those who survive the bitter cold must also evade the ever-watchful snow leopard. As the snow line moves down from the high peaks into the valleys, so too the snow leopard. Takin will also make their way down into the wooded valleys. A distant relative of the Arctic muskox, this bizarre-looking creature seems to have been assembled from a grab bag of animal parts. Unlike the Baral, Takin cannot withstand the winter on the mountainside. As they slowly migrate south, they devour almost anything to survive. Only their size and surly nature protects them from hungry leopards. Leaving their alpine pastures behind, nomads descend through the tree line to their winter villages. As temperatures drop, red pandas eat up to half their body weight each day. High-energy berries provide a valuable addition to their usual diet of bamboo. Close relatives of raccoons, pandas must learn to avoid the thorns that come with this late-season crop. Change is sweeping down across the entire kingdom of Bhutan. With the exception of the now hibernating marmots and the hardy baral, all will head south, following the torrents of water off the high ground. Late autumn, and here in Bhutan's capital, Thimphu, the kingdom's monks are also on the move. Each year they leave their summer monastery for winter quarters in the valley 3,500 feet below. Sacred relics accompany the procession as the populace turns out to seek the blessings of Bhutan's supreme religious leader, the Je Khenpo, a high reincarnate Lama. The date of this human migration is set according to the Buddhist lunar calendar, as if answering the same celestial signal. Black-necked cranes that have summered high in Tibet begin their own epic journey south. In Bhutan, events in the human and natural world turn on the same seasonal wheel, while the Buddhist belief in reincarnation links all of creation in a still greater cycle. The Buddhist philosophy of reincarnation places every living thing, from the humblest to the highest, in one chain of birth, life, and death. All life is part of this spiritual procession, linking the souls of humans and animals together in the common purpose of achieving the ultimate goal of nirvana. Compassion and good deeds to lower life forms speeds the individual's passage from this world to a higher plane in the next. The black-necked cranes have their own monastery, which they have returned to each year since before records began. It is called Ganti Gompa, and it sits above their marshland destination in central Bhutan. Inside, monks pray for the safe return of the birds they revere as bodhisattva, beings which, having achieved their own enlightenment, seek to help others on their path. Wherever they are found, cranes have always been a symbol of longevity. Black-necked cranes live as long as 80 years, about twice the life expectancy of the average Bhutanese. No wonder the cranes are thought to possess a wisdom that comes only with great age and many past lives. As is the custom of Buddhist pilgrims, the cranes circle the monastery 3 times in a clockwise direction, signaling their arrival and devotion to this place. After the long journey, the cranes dance. Pairs throw clumps of mud to one another in a mysterious gift-giving ceremony that reaffirms their bonds. The cranes are territorial, and boundaries are soon defined. The marsh becomes a valuable piece of real estate, which is aggressively contested. But the struggles here are with each other. There is no threat from man. In Bhutan's Pobjeka Valley, the cranes are protected. To kill a crane carries a sentence of life imprisonment. Since pairs mate for life, the arrival of a solitary bird is a sad sight. In this peaceful community, the crane is held in the highest esteem. During the day, the cranes will feed in the surrounding fields, taking whatever gleanings are left over from the recent harvest. Each night, these ethereal birds return to the safety of the marsh beneath the protecting walls of the monastery. Here in central Bhutan, winter frost has set in. At 10,000 feet below, warm, dry weather has followed the deluge of the monsoon. It is on the wide rivers, plains, and in the jungles of Bhutan's southern borders that the story of the four harmonious friends takes on a tangible reality. Water that fell during the monsoon is channeled from all over the kingdom to form Bhutan's greatest river, the Manas. The Manas gives both its name and nature to the surrounding area. Migratory birds like the merganser duck join other refugees from the cold to enjoy the post-monsoon feast. This is the last stronghold of the pure-blood Asiatic buffalo. These magnificent animals wallow in pools left by the ever-changing course of the river. Indian otters take a shortcut across boulders washed down in the monsoon floods of November. These rocky spits are part of the dynamic and shifting landscape of Munis. Buddhism stresses the impermanence of all things. Here the river gives, and the river takes away. Nothing remains the same for long. Change is the only rule. Cycles of creation and destruction bring new habitats, which in turn bring new life to this landscape of constant renewal. In this transforming environment, different species have learned to thrive together. Pelicans cooperate to drive fish into the shallows. Other birds follow along and benefit from the strategy. The flourishing range of life in the warm southern tropics of the kingdom make it one of the richest natural settings on Earth. The rhinoceros and the swamp deer happily coexist here, thanks to the abundance of long grasses fed by the rich waters flowing down from the Himalayas. A one-ton buffalo bull has little to fear from a young tigress. But all show respect to the rhino. In the dense grasses of Munis, surprise is everything for a predator. The tiger marks out its territory and hunts alone. By hunting the weakest and the oldest, the tiger enforces the laws of nature and strengthens the environment. Just as Bhutan is a celebration of biological diversity, so too the story of the four harmonious friends. The parable goes on to explain how, having collaborated together, the four harmonious friends were unable to reach and enjoy the fruits of their labors. Finally, they formed a pyramid, one animal standing upon the other, and were thus able to share in the rewards of their efforts. Although in the natural world individual animals rarely cooperate in this idealized way, the allegory has within it a simple message, that the overall health and character of the environment is determined by an interconnectedness between species, which we are only now beginning to fully appreciate. Bhutan is unique in many ways, and is home to creatures such as this golden langur, which exists here and nowhere else. golden langur, discovered only in the 1960s, is found only on the west bank of the Manus River. To be rare is to flirt with extinction, and this beautiful monkey walks that high and dangerous tightrope. These agile creatures hardly ever come down to the ground. They depend on an aerial network of interlinking branches. Any break in forest cover cuts off their lofty highways and limits the langur's movements. From the moment of their birth, they spend life in the canopy. The golden langur is found only in Bhutan because of the Manus River. Neither the golden langur or its cousin, the capped langur, can swim. They have evolved separately from an ancient ancestor, and they have been kept apart by the Manus, an effective barrier to any interbreeding. The river poses no such problem to the Asiatic elephant. Family groups crisscross the Manus in search of grazing. Most of Bhutan's elephant population are migrants from neighboring India. They come in the summer months to escape the heat of the plains to the south and to take advantage of naturally occurring salt licks and rich grazing. A foraging elephant has a ravenous appetite. Entire trees will be brought down for the sake of a few green shoots just out of reach. This may seem simply destructive, but this method of feeding is another process of dynamic change that provides opportunities for plants and animals able to take advantage of the new areas opened up. It has been several months now since the end of the rains. A harrier scours the tinder-dry grass, alert to any signs of movement. The peacock is on the lookout for a partner. Its mating call signals the returning monsoon. Meanwhile, thunder rolls across the land. It is called the drums of summer. Whether started by lightning or the rays of the sun, the result is the same. Fire sweeps through the dry grass, consuming all but the most resistant saplings, and ensuring that the landscape is not overcome by scrub and forest. Far from being entirely destructive, fire is another agent of diversity, before which all must give way. Immediate opportunities are seized by birds like drongos and bulbuls, which pick off insects flushed out by the flames. Without fire, the grasslands on which these last remaining Asiatic buffalo depend would soon be covered by forest. Once again, destruction ensures continuing life. Fire brings other benefits. Like most vegetarians, elephants don't receive enough minerals in their diet. Fire concentrates minerals in the ashes around the charred stumps and roots of grasses. Elephant calves learn by observation and imitation. Knowledge is passed from mother to offspring and is reinforced by patient demonstration. As with all learning curves, the initial attempts bring frustration. The burnt grass regenerates with incredible speed. The heat of the fire stimulates the sprouting of seeds. New growth appears within days and provides fresh grazing. A rare and special resident of Munis, the hispid hare, spends the day resting and hiding from its many predators. He emerges to forage and feed when dusk provides protection. Forests have a special significance to Buddhists as places of retreat from the concerns of the world. It was in a forest, sitting beneath the bo tree, that Buddha received enlightenment. In addition to its forests of prayer flags, Bhutan boasts the highest tree cover of any Asian country. 2/3 of the kingdom retains its original forest and enjoys the lowest rate of deforestation in the world. The Buddha is quoted in one of the sutras as saying, "The forest is a unique organism and a source of great good to us. It makes no demands for its sustenance and extends protection to all sentient beings, giving shade even to the axeman who destroys it." The axeman and the chainsaw have, during our century, decimated the Himalayan forests, leaving Bhutan as a unique and pristine oasis. Its forests do indeed give protection to the many sentient beings that find sanctuary within this Buddhist enclave. Of the 700 species of birds found in the kingdom, 25 are found nowhere else. These Bhutanese forests are home to 3 species of hornbill, including the very rare wreathed hornbill, the Malabar, and the largest, the great pied. That the forests of Bhutan still provide sanctuary to 3 different hornbills is a demonstration of the power of Buddhism to protect the environment. Hornbills are known to be choosy feeders, and supporting such discriminating birds is an indication of the forest's well-being. In the tropics, fruiting time is unpredictable, so the hornbill spends much time visiting different trees and checking for ripeness. It waits patiently until exactly the right moment. Too soon, and the fruit is bitter. Left any longer, and it's someone else's meal. Timing for the hornbill is everything. The great pied's bizarre-looking casque, which can be bigger than the bill itself, amplifies its metallic calls. It also helps to identify different individuals. During their nesting period, the hornbill's domestic arrangements are as wondrous as anything found in nature. The male hornbill muds his mate into a hollow tree, leaving only a small hole through which he passes food for her and the growing chicks. For the Western biologist, this is behavior driven by instinct and genetic self-interest. To the Buddhist, it is tireless self-sacrifice, reminiscent of the allegory of the four harmonious friends. The story of the four harmonious friends may be just that, a story, but its influence on the natural history of Bhutan is not. As hornbills fly in to roost over Manas, the allegory, when seen through Buddhist eyes, takes on a life of its own. Seemingly unconnected forms of plant and animal life give shape to the pyramid of interdependence, which millions of years of evolution have created. In the kingdom of the thunder dragon, the morning sun rises over the icy Himalayan home of the snow leopard. The same sun warms the high valleys of the black-necked crane before setting into the tropical jungles of the tiger. This extraordinary range of environments and a special reverence for life have combined to make Bhutan the last Shangri-La.
To learn more about the Living Edens, visit PBS online at www.pbs.org. Next time on the Living Edens, a visit to Palau, a paradise of the Pacific.
The Living Edens is brought to you in part by Allegra. This year, discover what it takes to really go for it. Allegra, by prescription only.
Funding for this program is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the annual financial support from viewers like you.
This is PBS. On the bewitching island of Madagascar, you'll have close encounters with forms of life that are strange, bizarre, and unique.
What if animals could talk? What would they say? Would they say anything at all? At PBS, we know a silent gesture says more than 1,000 words. After all, it's in our nature. Maybe we just need to listen. Creating an oasis in the storm of life. If PBS doesn't do it, who will?